This is your weekly report on corruption in the Philippine government. Armed with an arrest warrant, authorities arrested a soldier facing criminal cases in a remote barangay in this southern port city, police officials said Friday. Colonel Alexander Lorenzo, Zamboanga City Police Office, ZCPO, Director, said Private First Class Gilbert Page was arrested around 12:16 a.m. Friday in Barangay Tictapal here. Lorenzo said Page, 33, has standing warrant of arrest for 3 counts of rape with no recommended bail and violation of Republic Act 7610, otherwise known as the Special Protection of Children Against Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act. Major J. Matagayan, ZCPO Station 1 Chief, said the suspect is listed as the top 3 most wanted regional level, top 5 most wanted city level and top 1 most wanted provincial level due to the criminal cases he is facing. Vice Mayor Matthew Nolasco of Gatlaran Town, Cagayan Province, and 3 others were charged with murder in connection with the killing of a local businessman in December last year. The Cagayan Provincial Prosecutor's Office lodged the murder case before the regional trial court in Aperi Town on the 13th of July. Details were released on Wednesday, the 20th of July, to the media. Nolasco and his alleged 3 cohorts were accused of killing on the 5th of December last year Jefferson Torriza, a 29-year-old trader inside a resto bar at Barangay Magapit, in Lalo Town, also in Cagayan. Nolasco, who was a mayor at the time of the killing, allegedly shot Torriza. His cohorts reportedly manhandled the victim. No bail was recommended. The Sandiganbayan has upheld the 2021 graft conviction of former Philippine National Police Chief Jesus Verzosa and 5 other retired police officials in connection with the purchase of rubber boats and outboard motors for the PNP in 2009. The anti-graft court's 3rd division denied the motions for reconsideration filed by Verzosa and the other officers involved in the 131.5 million peso transaction, namely retired Police Lieutenant Generals Benjamin Bellarmino Jr. and Jefferson Soriano, retired Major Generals Luis Otikman and Romeo Hiloman, and retired Brigadier General Villam Abumanglag. In their motions filed last year, the former PNP officials sought the reversal of the court's the 25th of June, 2021, decision that sentenced them each to 6 to 8 years of imprisonment and barred them from public office. In the 2021 decision, Verzosa and the other officials, all former members of the National Headquarters Bids and Awards Committee, BAC, were found guilty of graft for proceeding with the procurement of the boats and the motors, which were later found to be incompatible. They were found to have conspired with one another to give unwarranted benefit, advantage and preference to 3 suppliers, Enviro Air Incorporated, Genevieve A Corporation and Bay Industrial. The Sandiganbayan found 2 current and 2 retired officials of Sipalay City, Negros Occidental guilty of frauds against the public treasury in connection with a heavy equipment lease contract with a private firm in 2008. The Sandiganbayan, in a decision promulgated on the 15th of July, ordered Sipalay City Treasurer Renato Manila, Engineer Porfirio Calderon Jr., retired Budget Officer Fernando Balbin, and General Services Officer Eliza Balbin to pay a fine of 40,000 pesos each. A former municipal vice mayor of Quezon Town was ambushed by unidentified gunmen while driving his sports car on Friday afternoon at Barangay San Francisco in San Pablo City, this province. San Pablo City Police report identified the victim as Danilo Amat, businessman, and former municipal vice mayor of Dolores Town in Quezon Province. Based on the initial police report, the victim was driving his sports sedan around 6:30 p.m. when he was attacked by the suspects who shot him several times. He was hit on the back. The suspect fled on foot right after the incident. The victim was brought by a concerned citizen to San Pablo City General Hospital but was declared dead on arrival by Dr. Rowena Reveles. A 30-year-old policeman died after he accidentally shot himself with his wife's gun in Jero, this city, Friday, the 22nd of July. The victim was identified as Police Corporal Paul Eric Uaco, assigned to the San Miguel, Iloilo Police Station. He allegedly was killed while checking a firearm at home, said Police Captain Eduardo Sayacon, Chief of the Iloilo City Police Office, ICPO, Jero District. The gun that killed Uaco was owned by his 32-year-old wife, Police Corporal Luis Cato Uaco, assigned to the Iloilo City Mobile Force Company. Initial investigation showed that Mrs. Uaco told Paul Eric that her gun was malfunctioning at past 7 a.m. Mr. Uaco went to the third of their house to check the gun. His wife heard a gunshot on the third floor while preparing breakfast. She went upstairs and saw her husband with a bullet wound in the right temple. Bomb-sniffing dogs and assorted police equipment worth nearly ½ billion pesos have not yet been delivered by the Philippine International Trading Corporation, PITC, since it received a 1.348 billion peso fund for the procurement from the Philippine National Police 6 years ago, the Commission on Audit, COA, has reported. In 2016, the PNP transferred the fund to the PITC to purchase, among others, utility trucks, genetic DNA analyzers, tactical or handheld radios, light personnel carrier, generators, motorcycles, ponchos and automatic grenade launchers. The COA said in its 2021 audit report on the PNP that was published on its website this week. Although completion of deliveries is expected in 2022, delays in the procurement by PITC and the schedule of deliveries by suppliers affected the operations of PNP and deprived its personnel of timely use of the equipment, the audit body said. The PITC is a state-owned and controlled corporation, which provides, among others, the most efficient and cost-effective procurement services to other government agencies. It is attached to the Department of Trade and Industry. During the years 2018 to 2021, the PITC delivered and liquidated some of the requested items worth 744,848,393 pesos, the COA said. This left a balance of 602,768,059 pesos, or about 44.7% of the original amount handed to the PITC, as of end the 20th of December 21, it said. The balance included 486,291,674 pesos for other items that had not been delivered, 56,059,825 pesos items that were delivered but not yet liquidated or distributed to PNP sites, and 60,416,560 pesos in savings, the COA said. Although the fund was made available in 2016, the noted procurement backlogs in the PITC occurred because contracts for the requested items were only awarded in 2021, the audit body said. The PITC is expected to complete the deliveries to the PNP this year. The COA observed that in 2016, the PNP's National Bids and Awards Committee seemingly lacked proficiency and capability to procure the equipment, which paved the way to transfer the procurement activities to PITC. 3 died in a shooting incident at Ateneo Manila University in Quezon City on Sunday afternoon, while the suspect, a doctor, is under police custody. According to the report of the Ananas police station, the fatalities were Rosita Furigay, former mayor of Limaton City in Basilan Province, Victor George Capistrano, the executive assistant of Furigay, and a certain Bandiola Genovan. The incident happened at about 2:55 p.m. Hanate. Reportedly, Furigay's daughter, who was supposed to join the graduation ceremony of the School of Law, is undergoing treatment. The National Capital Region Police Office, NCRPO, identified the alleged shooter as Dr. Chaushao Yumal, 38, and a resident of Basilan. He allegedly resented Furigay for allowing the proliferation of illegal drugs, according to an update from the NCRPO. Members of the Philippine National Police Integrity Monitoring and Enforcement Group, PNP-IMEG, recently arrested 6 erring police officers and separate operations for their involvement in illegal activities. In a statement Monday, IMEG Acting Chief Brigadier General Samuel Nacian said these operations are part of the PNP's relentless internal cleansing. On the 17th of July, IMEG operatives arrested Pat David Bollard Jr., who is wanted for frustrated murder in Barangay Panagbuhatan, Pasig City. Meanwhile, the IMEG nabbed dismissed police officer Rodrigo Sanoy, the top 8 most wanted person in Malabon, along Roxas Street, Sampaloc, Manila on the 15th of July. Nacian said Sanoy, who is wanted for murder, is also known in the area to be involved in various illegal activities such as gambling and is facing complaints in the barangay for sorts of local ordinance violations. In Calabarzon, 3 active members of the Binan City Police Station allegedly involved in a shooting on the 14th of July surrendered to authorities. The 15th of July surrender of Corporal Mark Jefferson Arzola, Corporal Gerald Casanova and Patrolman Emil Howell Alcantara was facilitated by the IMEG's Team Calabarzon. On the 19th of July, Pat Carl Mikhail Almazan, a member of the Highway Patrol Group's Intelligence Division, was nabbed by the IMEG Central Luzon members together with the Bulacan Police. Almazan has a standing arrest warrant for violation of Republic Act 7610 or the Special Protection of Children Against Abuse, Exploitation and Discrimination Act. An official of the National Bureau of Investigation, NBI, was killed in an accidental firing at his rented home in Zamboanga Sibugay province, a top police official said Monday. Brig General Franco Simborio, Police Regional Office, Zamboanga Peninsula Director, said Ahmed Sampang, the provincial NBI chief of Zamboanga Sibugay, was fatally hit on the chest while cleaning his service firearm, Glock 40 pistol around 8 am Saturday at his place in Purok Golden Mango, barangay poblacion of Ipil Town. His live-in partner told investigators that Sampang, 59, asked her to go out and buy coconut water. Upon returning home, she was surprised when the victim was already lying with blood with a gunshot wound on his chest while his issued firearm was beside him, Simborio said in a statement. The agency managing the country's second leading gateway was singled out by state auditors for buying a pricey X-ray machine that proved incapable of detecting firearms and ammunition that are concealed in vehicles. The purchased mobile X-ray screening system amounting to 196.382 million pesos cannot detect or scan guns and ammunitions placed inside vehicles, the Commission on Audit COA said in an executive summary posted on its website early this month regarding the year-end financial statements of the Mactan Cebu International Airport Authority, MCIAA. The machine, therefore, cannot serve MCIAA's purpose of enhancing its security posturing against terrorists, the COA report said. The airport authority bought the equipment, the X-ray backscatter, from Adlib International Sales Incorporated in the 20th of January 20. According to the MCIAA, the machine underwent inspection that month and was found to be in working condition, but the COA said that in 3 separate inspections conducted by its personnel the following year, the machine could not even scan the inside of an armored vehicle. This condition is a clear manifestation that there was a lack of rigid inspection of the equipment before accepting it, the COA said as it called on the airport management to submit a written explanation as to why this transaction shall not be disallowed. For allegedly having a drinking session while on official travel, 5 employees of the Office of the Provincial Agriculturist of Negros Occidental are under investigation. Attorney Alberto Nellis Jr. said yesterday, the 25th of July, that the employees including a division head, 3 engineers and a staff member have been issued with show cause orders so that they can explain their side. A formal complaint for misuse of government property and grave misconduct was filed by a Capital employee who serviced them while on official travel to Victoria City on the 15th of July, 2022. The complainant, a driver, claimed that he waited for the respondents until 8 p.m. but was later informed that they were at a restaurant allegedly having a drinking session. The senior employee allegedly uttered bad words against the driver when he informed them that he waited for them. Nellis said that the division head involved could face additional charges for conduct unbecoming because of allegedly bad-mouthing the employee. We will be getting their side and they have to answer the investigation report against them, Nellis said. Backed by the Police Special Action Force, anti-narcotics agents arrested an employee of Imlangtown and his father for possession of illegal drugs and firearms, an official reported Tuesday. Director Neravi Duquatan of the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency SOCSCSAGEN said operatives implemented a search warrant against 2 high-value targets in Barangay Dunguan at past 5 a.m. Monday. The suspects were identified as Mohata Limbo, 34, a civil security unit officer assigned to the Emlang District Hospital, and his father Jimmy, 62, a farmer. Both are members of the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. Seized during the operation were suspected shabu with a street value of 81,000 pesos, an M16 rifle, a Bushmaster rifle, a component of an improvised explosive device, firearm magazines, and ammunition. The Sandigan Bayan turned down the plea of a former lawmaker and a former town mayor of Sulu to junk their graft charges arising from an allegedly anomalous 5 million pesos agriculture project in 2004. In a resolution dated the 22nd of July, the Anti-Graft Court's 5th Division denied the motion filed by former Sulu 1st District Rep Hussein Amin and former Haji Pangla Matahil Mayor Nidra Burahan, who are facing multiple counts of graft. Also accused are regional agriculture officials Oscar Parawan, Samuel Simbajan, and Ma. Perlas Socorro Julian, and Commission on Audits Abdul Jamaringi. They are implicated in the alleged questionable release in 3 tranches of PHP 5 million for the Farm Inputs and Farm Implements program of Amin, 3.25 million pesos, 700,000 pesos, and 1.05 million pesos. Armin, Burahan and Peruan entered into a Memorandum of Agreement, MOA, for the procurement of farm inputs and implements while Simbajan, Chilean, and Peruan processed and approved the disbursement without reviewing the work and financial plan of the project contrary to the provisions of the MOA. The local government, through Burahan, made a pact with Sunny Marketing Supplies, a supplier of farm inputs and implements without public bidding, progress reports, and proof of implementation. Ingi was indicted for allowing the transactions without proper liquidation. The court ordered the initial presentation of defense on Tuesday as it denied for utter lack of merit the motions for leave of court to file demurrer to evidence. A demurrer filed by an accused seeks the outright dismissal of the case, citing the prosecution's failure to make a case even without the defense having to give their side. At least 30 policemen from Concepcion town in Tarlac province are facing multiple complaints at the office of the Ombudsman in connection with the mass arrest of 83 farmers and their supporters while conducting a community cultivation at a disputed agrarian property in Barangay Tinang last month. Members of the so-called Tinang 83 on Tuesday lodged criminal complaints against Lieutenant Colonel Ronald Macabatas, chief of the Concepcion police, and his men who arrested them on the 9th of June, accusing the police officers of violating the rights of those arrested, detained, and under custodial investigation. Tinang 83 refers to the farmers, activists, journalists, and students who occupied a 2-hectare section of a disputed property and were detained by Concepcion policemen for allegedly destroying sugarcane planted there. Complaints for perjury, unlawful arrest, arbitrary detention, physical and mental psychological torture, and other cruel, inhumane, and degrading treatment or punishment were also lodged against the policemen. The group also filed administrative complaints against the policemen for grave and serious misconduct when the lawmen allegedly failed to bring them to a medical facility or a doctor for medical examinations before they were detained. According to the complainants, they were put in a detention cell that was very crowded and cramped. Another administrative complaint for conduct prejudicial to the best interest of the service was filed against the policemen for alleged gross ignorance of the law that tainted the image and integrity of the police force. The complainants also asked the Office of the Ombudsman to remove the policemen from service and issue a preventive suspension against them while the investigation is ongoing. Macabatas on Tuesday reiterated that they were prepared to answer all complaints filed against them in relation to the arrest of Tinang 83. As law enforcers, it's inherent for us to respond to complaints. They destroyed a property and there was a complaint filed against them. We will respond to the case, he told the Inquirer in a text message. Macabatas said they had exhausted all means to stop what the farmers and their supporters were doing before they were arrested. We're just doing our job to keep the peace and order within our jurisdiction. We had a complainant, evidence and witnesses saying the property was damaged. What we did was not illegal, he said. That's all for this week. I'll see you next week with more stories of corruption and foolishness within the Philippine government.